Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I am getting ready to go visit family for Mother's Day, and I bought my mother-in-law a GreenStalk for Christmas, and we are going to fill it for her this weekend. So I have a ton of extra plant starts that I've started from seed, and then I went and grabbed some from a local nursery as well today. So what I am aiming to bring up with me to visit family is 30 plants, and that might be a combination of a couple seeds, mostly plant starts, to fill up every one of the pockets in a GreenStalk. So the GreenStalk that I got her is an original planter, so it has 5 rows of 6 pockets, so that's 30 total. So what I know she wants included in her GreenStalk is some peppers. She wants some food. I got her some flowers to bring in pollinators and just add some beauty. And then I have a bunch of herbs for her as well. So it'll kind of be a nice kitchen garden type vibe that gives her a lot of variety. Now, I love my GreenStalks. I have 3 of them, and GreenStalk's Mother's Day sale is one of their best sales of the year, and my purchasing fingers are tingling, so I might go get one more. So if I do, I will set that up in a video as well. And I think what I'm trying to do for her GreenStalk to make it really easy is each row is something different. So I'm thinking, and again, plans change when you actually get your hands on the soil sometimes, but I'm thinking 6 pepper plants on top with a spike in the soil so there's some support. A row of patio tomatoes, so small tomatoes, because I know my niece who lives near her really likes little cherry tomatoes. And then 2 rows of herbs and 1 row of flowers. Okay, so in this tray right here and the one right behind me, I have most of the plants already picked out. I have 2 Craig's Grande jalapeno plants. I know the family really likes jalapenos, and they're really sizable, and there's already a couple of flowers on them, which is great. I have 1 jalapeno, which my guess, since I didn't label the type, this is probably a tam jalapeno, so it'll produce slightly smaller jalapenos, but do just fine. I want to give her, I have a ton of extra ones, but I want to give her 1 shishito pepper. This one's not hot, and it's really good for a quick stir fry or kind of a sear on a pan. I'm interested to see how she likes it. I have a bunch of extra ones of those, and I think it's a good mild one and a good kind of pepper starter. This one is a lipstick. So this is, I believe, a more mild or even kind of sweet variety of red pepper. They kind of are small. And I'm thinking, even though this isn't a paprika pepper, it could be a potential start into kind of a red pepper powder situation. And then this one is unlabeled, but I'm pretty positive this one is also jalapeno. Likely tam, but it's got flowers on it, which look exactly like the jalapeno flowers on the other plant, so I'm 90% sure that's what this is. I moved locations because my AC turned on, and then as soon as I brought stuff over here, it turned back off, so of course it did. All right, let me keep going. So I went over the 6 peppers that are gonna go on the top row of the GreenStalk. Then for tomatoes, which I'm thinking will be the next one, got 2 little 4-packs of a patio style tomato, which make little cherry tomatoes, and they should be compact and perfect for a container like a GreenStalk. This is kind of what these are made for, so I think just 6 of them will be great. Everyone can kind of just use it as a snacking plant. And then for the herb, I have another one. I'm not exactly sure the variety, but I started this one from seed, so I can go up and look. This one says it's an Italian oregano, so that's 2. I have some bunching onions, 3. I have 2 thyme plants started from seed, so that's 4, 5. And then rosemary, so that's 6. That's another row done. I have a sage plant. This one's called a Mexican bush, So I'm hoping, I actually didn't read it fully, I just kind of like the way that this looked a little bit different than a typical sage. So that's one. And then from seed, I have a Genovese basil, like a classic culinary basil. And then I have two, there are two different kinds of purple basil, which I think is kind of cool. This one's called a red Reuben basil, and this one is a dark opal. So you can kind of see the difference between the two. The dark opal is like all purple, and this one has that kind of yellowing to it, kind of a brown, bronzy color. I really like both. They taste similar to me, but I'll go for both. Hello, welcome back to Home Sweet Grown Garden. Today, my plan is to finish the second half of this video, which did not go according to plan. So I was supposed to go up to my mother-in-law's house and help her set up, fill, and plant her GreenStalk garden planter, and that did not work. My family ended up being sick and I stayed home. So instead, I used GreenStalk's really affordable Mother's Day sale to buy myself one more GreenStalk. Now, as you can see in the background, I already have two, and then there's one around the corner. So this is my fourth GreenStalk. I've been using these for a couple years, and I really love these systems. It allows me to grow so many plants that would normally take up a ton of room in a garden bed, grow them vertically up here stacked, and it makes it so easy to care for all the plants. You know, interchange things. So some things are kind of seasonal, better early in the season. I can take plants out, exchange them. It makes it really easy for all the roots to stay kind of in one space. So there's a little bit less competition in the GreenStalks. Like everything about it. There are so many different good reasons so to have a GreenStalk. So I'm gonna set mine up with you, fill it with soil, and then we'll find a good place for it in the garden, and I'll show you just the basics of how to set it up and what I like so much about these GreenStalks. So when you get a GreenStalk, it comes in one big box like this, and pop it open. You have the watering container on top. I buy all of my GreenStalks with a spinner on it, so you place the whole system on here and you can turn it. I find this is really, really helpful because I have really intense sun on one side of the GreenStalk in the morning and then really intense evening on the other, and a lot of the time when the sun comes onto the side of my house, this side of my GreenStalks are shaded out, so I will rotate them. This makes it way easier. These systems do get really heavy, so shifting it by hand, like I just wouldn't end up doing that ever. That's just too much work. So this just shifts the whole system around, make sure everything gets sun. We have the water divider, so the water will come in through here, through each tier, go through the soil and the level, and then every level will have one of these where the water pools, and there are holes, and each of these is cut like a pie with 6 slices. So each of these corresponds to each of these pockets, and the water will just kind of be able to easily be divided into each of the pockets where the plants live. So there's equal water going through the whole system. Other things that come with this package, in addition to the recipes, like these, excuse me, is a growing guide, which is really nice, has really nice photos. It shows you how the water reservoir system works, and just has a nice like care guide, how to assemble, how to do everything, pretty much everything I'm doing in this video, but really nice guide. They do a really good job. They have a GreenStalk assembly team, thank you, some questions and thank you notes, and then it comes with some stickers. All right, I'm gonna give you a little bit of an up top view of what I'm doing here. So this spinner system has a little spout right here, again, where the water, instead of pooling underneath the system, it will be drained out and away from the system. So I'll go find a place for this in the garden, and then we will start to assemble these tiers. figured out my location in the garden, and I put the empty containers stacked up on top of each other so I could kind of see how it looks. I'm really happy with it. So I am going to follow the same principles that I was going to do in my mother-in-law's GreenStalk, which is a row of flowers, a row of potentially peppers, although I don't have as many left as I used to, and then one, probably 2 rows of herbs. Where I decided to put my GreenStalk is right here on the spinner. I just dug out an area in the mulch for this, so it kind of has its own space. It looks totally by itself, but on the left right here, out of shot, is my 2 other ones, all my blueberry plants, my arches. It's, about 4 feet away, so it is kind of on its own little island, but I think it fills this space, and it kind of leaves 2 things on both sides of this entrance of the garden, so it actually kind of makes sense. So the bottom were the flowers that I was talking about. So bachelor button, there's a snapdragon in there, some kind of bushier, taller plants. The next one is some got a dog. Are some peppers that are absolutely not doing well. So ignore the health of them. The GreenStalk has nothing to do with that at all. These are pepper plants that were left at the end of my street for anyone to take, but they did not get taken, and they've been sitting out in rain for days. So this really light color, like the lime green leaves, is from them being completely washed out and really not being able to take up any nutrients from the soil due to all the rain. So bypassing all the health issues of these plants, hopefully they bounce back in these. If not, I will take them out and replace them. That's not a problem. So we've got a couple different types of pepper plants. Jalapeno, there's an ají mango, ají parapitu, and just some leftover jalapeno plants. Up next is some flowers. I have a Titanic lilac, that archangel blue bicolor. It says blue bicolor. It's definitely a purple that matches this GreenStalk so perfectly. And then some of the goth garden flowers are here. Black sunflower and some pink cosmos. And then the top 2 are mostly herbs. So bunching onions, thyme, rosemary. Hi, baby. A dwarf tomato. I have an extra purple pepper plant. Basil, thyme, sage, oregano, holy basil, purple basil, all the good stuff. A nice variety on all of these. So the herbs, I'm hoping, are kind of going to fall over the sides and be more bushy. So this whole thing will really end up being some pockets tall, some kind of falling over the edge, some getting bushy. A nice variety. So that's kind of what it looks like. Then again, for some context for where it is in the garden, the whole garden is right there. So this ends up kind of being the entrance into this pathway into the garden, this pathway entrance into the garden, and then my other 2 GreenStalks are there with the rest of the garden. So a nice pop of color near the entrance. And that's it. That is all it takes to put together a GreenStalk, fill it, add some variety, add some pollinator friendly plants. And it was really easy and really didn't cost all that much to put together, and I have an entire garden in a 2x2 foot space, so a ton of garden in a really small space. As you can tell, I love it. They get really, really full. This green one has already had multiple iterations of plants in here. My dill, some of it was already pulled out, some of the cilantro was pulled out, but I am gonna keep everything going. So pockets where things were taken out have new plants in them. So this is just gonna keep going throughout the entire season. Some of these things will stay in the entire season, like basils, that'll stay there. These flowers stay here. This is an example of the bachelor button, so it'll be pretty bushy like this. So yeah, I see a lot of potential in all of these, and I really like these green stalks. These are all my strawberries. There's some herbs and beans up here. There's so much variety you can do with a green stalk. I really love growing in these, and this is now my 4th one, so welcome to the garden family. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about growing in these. I'd love to answer them, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.